to my video. Welcome to the replay. I'm really excited to have you guys here. Today, we are going to talk about how to get started selling your handmade products online. My video's lined up weird, so we're going to just making me kind of look off to the side. We're going to do that. Okay, that's better. So we're going to talk about how to get started selling your handmade products online. I get this question a lot. In fact, somebody just posted on one of my posts saying, I don't know how to get started. I want to do this, but I don't know how to get started. So if you're new here, my name is Allie Thompson. I'm founder of Handmade Sellers Club, where we teach handmade sellers how to sell their handmade products online. I have actually been doing this for over 20 years now. We started with our handmade product business back in 2001, and there's a lot we have learned along the way, and that's what I share with you in Handmade Sellers Club. So how to get started? How do you actually, make those first sales? What are the things you have to do at the beginning, and what are some things that you don't have to do so much? Because that's the biggest thing that I see is a lot of people want to get started online, but they're very overwhelmed by all the things. They don't know where to get started because there's a lot of places to start. You can do Facebook, you can do Instagram, you can do TikTok, you can do Twitter, you can do YouTube, you can have a website. You could be on Etsy. So there's all kinds, and then there's Facebook stores and all these things, right? So where do we actually start? It feels very overwhelming to be doing all of the things right out of the gate. And I agree, it is very overwhelming to do all of the things right out of the gate. So what I have done over the past 4 years since I started coaching handmade sellers is I have been watching to see who has success the fastest, that is sustainable success, right? We don't want to just have sales for sales sake. If you're making sales in spammy, scammy ways, that's not sustainable in the long term. So how do people get started? That's the fastest way to them actually making sales that has long-term sustainability that you can then add other things to. So I really wanted to focus on, like, how do we distill this down to step one? Instead of step one, do all the things, but step one, here's a very easy, manageable step to take. Step two, here is the next step to take. So this is what I have found over the last 4 years coaching handmade sellers, plus my experience of having a handmade business myself. So the short answer is, join Handmade Sellers Club. That's the short answer. If you're just getting started out and you want to sell more of your handmade products online, everything that I tell you today, I go into much more in depth in Handmade Sellers Club. Plus you get the support. Plus you get so much more. There are so many bonuses and additional trainings and opportunities that you get to become more visible to the marketplace that happens with Handmade Sellers Club. So that is really just step number one. You can get a 2-week trial for only $7. Come on in, give it a try, look around, start with the super seller system. And I'm going to kind of talk through what we do in the super seller system so that you get an idea of how to start, because we have actually fleshed this out into a course of, like, this is how you get started. This is how you start making sales. So that's number one, is just join Handmade Sellers Club. Take the 2-week trial. It's only $27 a month after that. For everything you get in there, that is a steal. $27 is a steal. I know people that are selling $1,000 courses that don't have nearly as much value in it as what our $27 a month Handmade Sellers Club does. So with that being said, when you join Handmade Sellers Club, we always start you out with the super seller system. That's where we recommend that people start, because that's the fastest results that we have seen that gives people long-term both success today and long-term success, and it maximizes your time. As I hear over and over again, I don't have a lot of time. So when you're saying that, when you're saying I don't have a lot of time, what you really don't have time for is to do things that aren't effective, to do things that aren't working, to do things that aren't moving the needle forward. So that's what I focus on, is real action that you can take that gets you real results, so you're not spinning your wheels just doing busy work, right? So let's talk about the first thing first. I highly recommend that the first thing you do is find a product focus. Now, a lot of people don't like to hear this, and sometimes it's a conversation starter. stopper, I mean. But finding a product focus is the most important action you can take when trying to sell your products online. So what is a product focus? A product focus is really stating this is what I make and who I sell it to. And if you can't answer that in like 10 words or less, you don't have a product focus. So for us in our handmade business, we make toys for people who own house rabbits. It's a very, very specific niche. And a lot of people say, whoa, that's such a weird, specific niche. But we have found it so much easier because we tried this in the past. We tried to be a little bit of everything for everybody, and we struggled to make any sales at all because we weren't very specific about who our market is. Hold on, my computer blacks out. I don't know if it like ends me when it does that, but I got to keep moving the mouse so it doesn't black out. New computer, still learning it. So it's when we first started out, we tried to sell toys for lots of different types of animals. And we found that if somebody owned a rabbit and they saw the description of our product and it said this is for parrots, guinea pigs, rabbits, chinchillas, hamsters, gerbils, dagoos, the whole list, then they would see the word rabbit, but they didn't really feel like it was for them. And so it wasn't until we niched down and we had a real clear product focus that we started to have more success in our business. This has happened time and time and time and time again with our Handmade Sellers Club members. And if any of you are watching right now and I told you to niche down and you did and you had success, like write in the comments, let people know how that worked out for you. Because the thing is that when you are broad in general, if you're going to shows, so let's say you're going to vendor shows and you're selling a little bit of everything at the vendor show. Okay, that's not that big of a deal. You know, people are there to shop. They're browsing by your table and they're like, oh, I like this or I like that. You know, it works. Actually, product focuses even work better at vendor shows than having a little bit of everything, but a little bit of everything will work. When you come online, a little bit of everything is not going to work. Having a broad, general, generic kind of product line is not going to work. When it comes to online, you've got to stand out from the noise. You've got to stand out from Amazon, from Walmart, from all of the noise that is out there of people trying to sell things online. So if you have a business and it's named something like Kathy's Crafty Corner, that's always, someday I'm going to meet somebody that has Kathy's Crafty Corner. I made it up, but someday I'm going to meet somebody that has Kathy's Crafty Corner. So if you have a business and it's Kathy's Crafty Corner, and Kathy's Crafty Corner is sells, let's say, soy candles, crochet blankets, and let's add a third thing in there, wooden signs. Okay, so those are the three things that Kathy's Crafty Corner sells. If I look at her name, I don't know that she sells any of those things. I have no idea what she sells. When it comes time to finding her customers, her customer base is so broad and generic that she's gonna have a hard time like finding the specific people that she needs that are into what she has. Time and time again, I've had people come through the program and say, no, I've got to keep it general because if I'm specific, then I'm going to sell less product. You know, I've got to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, because what if somebody comes to my page and they don't want what I have? I need to have something else that they can buy. And that's the complete opposite way that you need to be thinking when you start thinking about selling online. You need to think of how can I be an island, an oasis, a lighthouse, a magnet to those people who love a specific product the most. And it could be a product, it could be a subject. So my customers don't love rabbit toys. They love their rabbit, right? So when they see my page as Happy Rabbit Toys, and they're like, I want to get toys for my bunnies, and it sounds so happy. They are attracted in like a magnet to my page. Now, yeah, I could sell it to chinchilla lovers and all of the other things, but when I was broad, the magnet was weak. We weren't drawing anybody in specifically. So when we niche down, we were able to draw the rabbit people in. You need to look at your products the same way. And you need to take some time to research on Etsy, to research on Amazon, even look and see what types of items are selling. I also love researching in Facebook groups, actually visiting different Facebook groups, and I'm looking for ponds of people that would buy my product. So there are a bunch of Facebook groups that are for house rabbit owners. I'm like, yes, I would be able to join a group like that, interact in the group, and be a welcome member of the group. And I'm constantly advertising my business, not just to the general public, but to a concentrated group of people that are ideal for my product. So you definitely want to find your product focus. What are things that people are passionate about? What are things that people are, do you have a product that's so unique that a specific group of people are like, oh my gosh, that's so different? So really looking for that product focus and getting clear on that. We have an entire training in Handmade Sellers Club on how to pick a product focus. It's one of the biggest, it's some of the most important work, I think, that I do with helping people, that it's some of the most important questions they ask in the community in Handmade Sellers Club, because it really is like a small hinge that swings a big door. You nail that product focus and all of a sudden things start to happen. So all those, posts you've been making on social media and the website, nothing is happening, and you niche down and you create that product focus, and it just changes. It changes. Carrie says, you didn't push but suggested, and even though I was already niched down some, I doubled down and it made a huge difference. Yeah, so Carrie has a business that you would think that she had a product focus, but she niched down even further, and now her ideal people are like, you're exactly what we're looking for. Rather than just being like, oh yeah, that's nice. People are leaning in and saying, that's exactly what I'm looking for. It makes a huge, huge difference. I could give you story after story after story after story after story of people who have made that change and seen a difference fairly quickly in their sales. So better to start off with a good, solid, strong product focus and go from there than to do a lot of work, then work on a product focus and have to change your website, change your social media, change all of those things because you didn't have it to begin with. So that should be number one. The very first thing that you do selling your products online should be picking your product focus. The second thing you need to do is pick a platform. And in my suggestion would be a social media platform. And more specifically, I recommend Facebook. So another mistake people make is they jump online and they create the Facebook account, the Instagram account, the TikTok account, and now they're starting to create content for all of that. At the same time, they're building a website. At the same time, they're putting stuff on Etsy. You don't need any of that, including Etsy website. You need one. I shouldn't say you don't need any of it. You don't need all of that. You need one. You need one really good platform. Now you can either go social media or Etsy, right? You have a choice there if you want to start with social media or start with Etsy. The reason why I like starting with social media is because there's a lot more testing that we can do there. You're building up your own audience, not Etsy's audience. You're not there next to your competitors the way that you are on Etsy. But some people choose to start on Etsy and really get good at search engine optimization, which can kind of be a technical thing. There's a lot of trial and error. And it's only as good as you're better than your competitors, right? So you could do really, really well on Etsy and all of a sudden get kicked off of page one because a competitor came in and kicked you off. They did better than you. So it's always a game that you're playing over there. You're always having to learn Etsy's rules and algorithms, and then you're paying their fees on top of it. The reason why I like Facebook so much is, one, you can get very quick sales on Facebook. You can test your product focus idea on Facebook. You can go to the different Facebook groups, and I teach you how to do this in Handmade Sellers Club. I have this method called Quick Cash Method. It can get you sales very, very quickly, but it also helps you realize what works and what doesn't. I was just talking like an hour ago, I was just talking to somebody that's in our website bootcamp, and I had suggested the Quick Cash Method to her last week to test a product focus idea. I said, I think this is a good product focus idea, but here, do these things and test it. Between last week and this week, 5 sales. 5 sales with Facebook, and Facebook only. Like she didn't need anything else. She is working on her website, but she didn't need the website to make those 5 sales. So I really encourage people to start with Facebook, building a Facebook business page, getting followers on that page, and then posting to that page in a way that engages the audience. So really focusing on Facebook, you're going to build those customers that are going to buy from you over and over and over again into the future. And you're actually going to build a relationship with them. I want you to think of the difference of that and Etsy. Etsy, people are just looking for the best deal, the best pictures. They're comparing, they're price comparing, they're checking out all of these different shops. But like if they don't think to go to Etsy, if they don't need something in that moment, they won't see or hear from you for a very long time, unless you add social media to Etsy, and then you're doing all the things, right? With social media and specifically with Facebook, you're attracting them into you, and then you're building a relationship. So even when they're not in the mood to buy, or it's not their season to buy, they're still seeing your posts. They're still seeing content from you. And so they're when it comes time to buy, when Mother's Day comes up, when a birthday comes up, when Christmas comes up, you're already in their head, right? So you're not depending on them going to Etsy and searching and hoping to stumble across you, but they already know they want to buy from you, and you're giving them tons of opportunities to do so. So I love the relationship side much better than buyer intent. And that is opposite of what a lot of online gurus talk about. They're always like, oh, you want buyer intent. But buyer intent is highly competitive. And the second that spigot is turned off, the second you make a misstep and you're now on page 2 instead of page 1 for Etsy, your sales shut off. Not so with Facebook. You're building real relationships with real people who are then recommending you, who are showing up to your live sales, who are showing up to just watch your videos, who are commenting and engaging with your posts, helping you get to a broader base and building your community versus just hoping people come across you. So that's why I like Facebook. So pick one, do it really, really well. Master one platform, become an expert. And if you say Facebook isn't where my customers are, they're on Instagram, no problem. Then pick Instagram and double, triple down on Instagram. I see a lot of people doing this. Well, I post this to Facebook and then it automatically posts to Instagram, or I post it to Instagram and it automatically posts to Facebook. Like, I get it, but the reason why I hate it is because you're half-assing both of those platforms. You're kind of just putting stuff on there and hoping for the best. Instead, what I want to see you do is get on there and master it. Figure out, how does the algorithm work? How do the hashtags work? What are the best hashtags I can use? How are reels working? And I'm talking more Instagram here. Like, if you're going to use Instagram, use it. Post to stories on a consistent basis. They're very popular on Instagram. Post reels on the daily. Make content that is built for Instagram and start building relationships there in Instagram and build that out. My daughter did that. So I teach Facebook, but she went over to Instagram and just mastered it. And she now has over 25,000 followers on her account. And everybody says, how do I get followers? But they're just halfway kind of posting everywhere instead of really focusing on one platform and mastering it. So pick one, master it. And since you're already here on Facebook, and if you're comfortable with Facebook, don't let the naysayers sway you that, oh, well, everybody's going over to TikTok. If you're not on TikTok and comfortable with TikTok and understand the culture there, then don't just post to TikTok, right? If you're comfortable with Facebook, you're using it personally, it is going to be the better choice for you to stay on Facebook and build that out. Now, once you've mastered the one and you want to start kind of using the other ones a little bit, fine. Or you want to go on to master a second one, fine. But don't treat them all the same. Pick one and really drill down into that one. So for instance, with my Small Shop Discovery page, website, Small Shop Discovery website, we have Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for that account. But we really focus on Facebook, right? The rest of them are there and we will cross post to them, but we're hyper focusing on Facebook to try to get the most results we can there. And then as that's rolling, if we want to start to master the next one, that's fine. So the other ones, yeah, they're getting content, but we're making sure we have one main one where we are just killing it there, right? And that's what I want for you as well. Carrie said, I was exhausted trying to learn all of them. I focused on Facebook with this training and started to grow. I'm growing just past just Facebook now after I learned. Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't need all the others. You know, if you want to set up your Instagram at the beginning, you want to set up a TikTok at the beginning, fine. But don't try to be equal on all of the platforms. Do one really, really well. And then if you want to kick some content over to the others, that's fine. But do one well so that you have that community that sees you showing up in a consistent way. It makes all the world a difference. And your customers are going to see it too. They know when you're just like kind of vaguely posting everywhere, right? Because it's generic content and it's not personal to anybody. Terry says, I've been focusing on Facebook and really noticing a difference. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So now that you're focused on Facebook, and again, my super seller system is all about mastering Facebook. Now in Handmade Sellers Club, we do have a course on Instagram. We don't have anything up on TikTok right now. If I can find somebody that is a true TikTok, because again, I focus on the one that I'm best at. I brought Willow in to teach Instagram. And if we can find somebody that's really killing it on TikTok, we will bring them in as well. But the super seller system focuses on Facebook. So you want to join Handmade Sellers Club, start using the super seller system. And then the next thing people ask is, yeah, but how do I actually accept payment? Do I have to have a Facebook store? Do I have to do I have to build a website? Don't I have to build a website? No, you don't have to build a website. Now, I'm not saying websites are bad things. I have a website for my handmade product business. I teach people how to create websites, but it's not at the top of the list. Number one is picking your product focus. Number two is really focusing on Facebook. I'm just going to say it. Just focus on Facebook. Focus in real heavily on Facebook. Learn it, master it, start to make massive sales there. And to accept your sales, you don't have to do anything more than have a Square account. Literally, you can run a fairly successful business with just a Square account. It starts to get clunky as you grow, and that's when you know you need a website. So with Square, yes, we all think of it as a card reader, but you can actually send invoices with Square. So here's how sales happen on Facebook without a website. You make a post and you say, scale of 1 to 10, what do you think about X? And a bunch of people, oh my gosh, it's a 10, it's a 10, it's a 10. And somebody says, it's a 10, I need it. Do you have this for sale? So we teach you how to make the kinds of posts that get people to lean in and say, I want to buy that. It's a very different approach than thinking, I need a website and I'm hoping people visit it and I hope that some of those people will check out, right? Instead, we're presenting our product, we're tempting people with our product, and then they lean in and say, ooh, I want that, I have to buy that. And then all you have to do is say, okay, what's your mailing address? What's your email? I'll send you an invoice. They pay the invoice, you ship the product. Done. Done. You can have an entire handmade business just like that. I have many clients. I have one client, they were making $2,000 to $3,000 a month without a website, doing exactly what I just told you. Picking a product focus, which they already had theirs when they came in, so that part was easy. Not everybody, it's like 50-50. Some people already have it, some people don't. But when you go through the training on Handmade Sellers Club, we help you figure that out, right? And we always have the community to say, like, hey, do I have a product focus? I'm selling this. And we can give you feedback on whether or not you need to narrow it down a little bit, whether it's too broad. So number one, they had the product focus. Number two, they doubled down on Facebook. They learned how to talk to the audience that they had. They learned how to grow the audience that they had, all through the super seller system. It was called something different then, but it's the exact same training. They learned how to talk to the audience they had. They learned how to get a bigger audience. They learned how to get in front of people that weren't already following them on Facebook. And then when somebody said, hey, I want that, they sent them an invoice. Invoice got paid. They did the shipping. and it's done. You have a business then. That's where you start. It's like 3 steps, right? And there's a lot of mini steps in there, right? Master Facebook. There's a lot of training that we have there. It's not difficult training, but it's important that you understand how to use Facebook, because just being on Facebook and making posts from time to time is not the same thing. You've got to follow the system that I laid out. When you follow that system, things start to happen. Sales start to happen. With my quick cash method, you could be making sales within 15 minutes. We just had somebody in Handmade Sellers Club say, I made a post last night and this morning I had a sale. You can get sales fairly quickly with the quick cash method as you're building up your audience on your Facebook page. So you can literally come in with zero followers, and be making sales within a week. The client that I was talking to earlier has no Facebook page yet, no website yet, and she made 5 sales from Facebook using the strategies that I teach her. So now she's like, okay, now I need my Facebook page, right? And then she is building her website too, but now she knows what to build her website about. So once you have those 3 elements in place, now, product focus, mastering one platform, Facebook, and, being able to accept payment, which is like the easiest thing to do. That is by far the easiest part. Once you have those 3 in place and you're making sales, now you can add the other things. Now you know what to put on your website, what to call your website. You know what your product focus is. You have people you can send to your website. So it's not just building a website in the middle of the desert and hoping people find it. You actually have people that you can send to your website. So you've got that. If you want to add Instagram, you've already got this core group of people on Facebook that you could say, hey, did you know we're on Instagram? And you can send them over to Instagram. If you want to add Etsy into it, you can add Etsy. I like that dynamic better than you already have a relationship with people, but it's easier to send them over to Etsy. You can show up for both the buyer intent side of Etsy, meaning people are searching, looking for something to buy. You can make sales there, and you can make sales from the people who already know, like, and trust you and already want to buy from you. And then if you wanted to add blogs, if you wanted to add search engine optimization, if you wanted to add all of those other things, you've already have this strong foundation and you're already making sales without doing all the things. You do the 3 things: product focus, super seller system, master Facebook, and accept payments and ship the product. You're done. That's it. That's an online business in a nutshell. You master that, everything else is going to be easy. Everything else is going to be easy. So it does not have to be complicated, you guys. It does not have to be complicated. Now, that doesn't mean that it's like, oh, I joined today and now I'm making $1 million tomorrow. You do have to put work into it. You do have to watch the videos and see the difference between a good post and a bad post. You got to learn how to do the quick cash method. We teach you how to do a Facebook live sale, which is so awesome and exciting and fun, because you're actually selling like QVC style right on Facebook. And I've got people that have made thousands of dollars in an hour and a half using Facebook live sales. It's a very powerful sales strategy, but it's all within Facebook. It's all within Facebook. And that is after you've taken the previous steps. So when you join Handmade Sellers Club, you actually download our 6-week fast track guide to selling on Facebook. It's the Super Seller Fast Track Guide. That's the first thing you do. And you go through that form week by week. And if you follow the instructions on there every single week, you're going to be making sales by the end of those 6 weeks, if not much sooner. You could be making sales week 1. If you do the quick cash method and if you get stuck on it, ask questions. That's the beauty of it. But that 6-week fast track is going to get you on the right path. That gets you started, gets you making sales, builds up an audience. And then as you're rolling, then we can add the other things in. And that's all that bonus training that is available there in Handmade Sellers Club. How to sell on Instagram, how to take better product photos is on there, how to better price your products, There's all kinds of additional training. The website, how to build your website. That's all on there, but after you do the super seller system. And the best part is we are there with you along the way. You don't have to do it alone. You have a question, you ask. You have a question, you ask, and there's dozens of people in there in that training that have been with me for years. I mean, we have hundreds of people in the club, but dozens of them have been with me for years and have seen and gone through all of this. And so they are now experts in that group, and they can help you. I can help you. We're all there to help you get through whatever you're stuck on. You don't have to go it alone. You don't have to be by yourself. In fact, it's better that you're not. I will never run a business by myself again in a vacuum, not getting outside opinions and help and ideas. And that's why I created Handmade Sellers Club, because that is what I have noticed between the training and the community support and the Prompts for Profits calendar, which I didn't really get into here, but that's part of the super seller system. Those are the things that give the best results. And so that's what I really focus on here in Handmade Sellers Club. So if you're interested in Handmade Sellers Club, I will drop a link in the comments. Maybe. Sometimes it doesn't. There we go. I'm going to drop a link in the comments. With this link, you can get a 2-week trial for only $7. Come on in, give it a try. Watch the quick cash method. Put it into play. You got 2 weeks that you could be making sales before you ever get charged for the normal membership amount, which is only $27 a month. It's less than $1 a day for all the amazing support content. The Prompts for Profits alone is worth double what we're charging for Handmade Sellers Club, not to mention Super Seller System, the community. And I didn't even get into Small Shop Discovery, where you have additional promotional opportunities there at no extra cost. So go check it out. Click the link. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.